All right, what's going on, everyone? We are back here in the shop. We got a brand new product to the store. We are very excited to bring these in. Tim's been fishing these for quite a while. I've had a lot of experience with a wider array of their products. But to start off, we usually start small and incorporate newer companies a lot slower than most people because we like to take our time testing the product, whether it's stress testing on our own, sending a few out to some of our staff members. But we like to make sure that the lures that we bring in the store work, not just plastics, crankbaits, chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, literally anything. We like to test it and make sure it holds up to the stressors of just being fished extremely hard. Tim and we fish all the time or whenever we can when we're not here at the store. And these ones have passed the test. We'll go ahead and just say the company here. This is Machine Lure Works. The guy who makes these, he's actually out of Canada, but he is a Japanese. He is Japanese. But these Machine Lure Works crankbaits here, we're going to be talking about the Chippewas. We have 4 different models that we just got in here. We're going to kind of talk about them, talk about their strengths, kind of where it can play during the year, and of course, kind of look over a lot of their paint patterns here. So Tim, give us like a little bit of a background on kind of how you came about these lures here and what you like about them.
Well, I just saw them on, I think, I don't know, it was either Tack Wellers or the Hookup or somewhere of those places, uh, and I liked them, and they're just different to me, and I like a little different, and they just have a good, and that's why I tried them. I wanted to try them out and see what they're like. I like the blade idea with it. I think it's a little different, and then once I got them, I even like them more with the little blade on it. Uh, they run really good. You can burn them really fast, and you can run them really slow. They have a nice, really slow wiggle.
Yep.
They're great stop and go,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
They have a kind of with the blade on it. They actually add a little weight to it, so they almost have a suspend to them almost.
Yeah, some of them more than
Especially
others, especially
the
like the
bigger the bigger one,
yeah, the
the
bigger
bigger
ones.
square bill one, and I love the circuit bill lip.
Yep.
I can say I have not busted a lip on one yet. I've had a couple blades come off, but eventually we can get
Yep.
we can get the
Replacement.
blades
Yep.
replacement blades and everything too. They make a lot of really cool little things with their blades too. They got the big one, the small one, and the other thing, if you can tell, they're not completely like they're a willow, but
Right. They're folded
they're
in
kind of
and have
folded
little
in, a
kinks.
little
Yep.
kink in them like that. So just a little bit different, and they are actually a silent bait
Mhm.
without
No rattles.
no rattles, but with the blade you get that. You don't really
You get
need
that
one.
little bait fish squeaky
You
noise.
don't really need one. They
Yep.
actually make one that's just a clean bait without a blade too. You can
Yep.
take the blade off. You don't need a blade
Yeah.
on it.
The nice thing
Yep.
is the reason why we got the bladed ones is you can just take the blades off and you basically have the normal
Correct.
crankbait, I
Correct.
guess.
Hmm.
So kicking it off, let's go like small to biggest here.
Yep.
First off, the first bait, which is going to be
Yep.
the smallest, shallowest running bait, is going to be the baby Chippewa
Yep.
RB right there. This thing is badass. It is, I believe it's at 2 inches. Yep, 2 inches,
3 to 4 feet deep.
52 millimeters. And this guy weighs 0.33 ounces. It's a shallow running crankbait, like Tim said. It's going to run at 3 to 4 foot.
Hmm.
And it all depends on your line size. Now, these run very true to the line size that
Yeah.
you put on them. With the extra resistance of that blade going, it really, really depends on what line size. Tim, what line size would you normally throw this baby
The
Chippewa
baby
on?
Chippewa, I'm like 12 at the highest, but
Right.
10 is probably the best spot for it, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, I would agree. The 10,
Hmm.
10 pound line works really well, and these are held in with snaps. So every single one comes with a snap. I don't know if you're the type of person that just ties
Split
one
snap.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
just takes all the other snaps off, or just tie off to the snap. It doesn't really
That's the
matter.
other thing. I love snaps anyway, so
Yeah,
it's already
right.
so
Makes it nice and easy.
yeah. They're a
So
strong snap too.
yeah,
They're not
yeah,
a
they are.
yeah.
And let's talk
Yeah.
about the hooks as well. These are the Ichikawa hooks.
You should go.
Um, Now I think these two are the same size, and then those other two are the same size.
Correct.
These are number 7s, which when it comes to cranking hooks, number 7 is probably one of my all-time favorites. Not a lot of companies make a size 7 treble hook, but it's just big enough to where it's got a big enough bite, bigger than an 8, but not quite a 6. So with the baby Chippewa and also the baby Chippewa DD, which is the baby Chippewa in the deep diving version right there, it's going to be a little bit longer, just slightly longer than the baby Chippewa. Of course, the bill is a little bit bigger, and it says, I believe, 6 to 7 foot diver, which honestly, I think you can get it a little bit deeper, around that 9 to 10 foot depth, especially on that 10-pound line. Now, with the blade, these baby Chippewas do have much smaller blades. This is one little itty bitty blade. This is a size up, and then it goes up. Up to the regular Chippewa, that blade just gets bigger and bigger. And what Tim was saying earlier about that blade adding a little bit of action and sound, basically as this runs in the water, it's going to be hitting that front treble. On the baby Chippewa, it doesn't hit the back treble, but on some of the other ones, on the regular one, it actually reaches to the very tip of that back treble, which is really, really cool. And you get just an added motion. It helps the bait. Ow, holy cow.
Yes.
Holy cow.
They are sharp hooks.
That was sharp. What's great about the blade as well, and the specific bending of the blade, is as you're running it through the water, it's actually catching water in different ways than just a straight willow. With the bends, it helps the bait run out and track, and then it puts it back on target when it catches the water really, really tight. So it's going to get back on track. It's going to hunt. It's going to hunt. It's going to get back on track. And this bait just draws in a ton of bites, which is really, really awesome when you're fishing in the early spring, when that bait is being chased around for the first time, and you're also, when that bait is not totally in a pack mentality and doing the exact same thing as everything else, in the early spring and in the early fall, when those bait fish are finally spreading out, getting away from the pack a little bit, separating out, this bait right here will shine. So coming months here in Texas, September, October, November, this bait is going to play big time. Now we got 3 different colors in the baby Chippewas. We got Ghost Shad, Hologram Shad, and BPB Chartreuse. And I'll hold all these up over the camera, overlay them so you can see them up close. One of my favorites is probably the Ghost Shad. If you're fishing like a little lighter day, that hologram shad, it's got a little bit of a shine to it.
Most I've caught is probably on hologram shad.
Yep. And then of course, if you're fishing a little more stained water, not only will the blade help you a little bit in that situation, but the chartreuse one is also really, really neat.
I was a little worried about their chartreuse color. I don't really like a really loud, obnoxious chartreuse myself personally, but when you look at it, it's got a really cool, it's kind of a subtle chartreuse.
Right.
Chartreuse shad kind of a look to it.
So those are the baby Chippewas. Now moving on to the regular size Chippewa. So we got that one there. That is the Chippewa RB with the blade, and it is going to be, let's see, packaging's a little different on this one. It is probably 2.5, almost 3, 2 3/4 probably. Of course, it's going to have the Ichikawa hook as well, and yeah, it doesn't actually tell me how long that one is on that box, but that's all right. It's not that much bigger than the baby Chippewa. It's a little bit taller. It's got a little bit more of a true shad profile, a little bit taller all around. Of course, you are going to upgrade the blade, and you can see it does just barely hit that back treble there. What's really great about it is it's going to run in that mid-depth, kind of like your traditional square bills, which is going to be in between the baby and the DD baby right there. So it's going to run that, 4 to 5 foot range-ish.
Yeah.
Of course, the circuit board lip allows for easy water movement. And, of course, the blade just going to help it hunt even better. So in the regular Chippewa sizes, we've got 5 different colors. Of course, we've got the ghost shad, which you guys have seen primarily in this video here. The BPB chartreuse shad, hologram shad again, and two other colors that we got here are going to be bluegill and BPB shad.
That's a neat color too.
And BPB shad is probably one of my favorite colors that they come out with, other than that bluegill one, just because it's a unique matte colored bluegill.
That's the BP. That's Ghost. It's really close to Gloss, but very kind of like a thread.
You take out the violet out of the Ghost shad and replace it with a little blue. So that's a great color there. And then of course the Chippewa DD blade here, it's gonna get 10 plus, 10 to 13-ish, pretty easy. And like we were saying, is that these baits here will absolutely dominate here in the fall, and we'll get you a lot more bites in the summertime or even in the wintertime when a traditional crankbait might not. You can burn these, every single one of them, at extremely high speeds. You can go at medium speed, slow speed, and it's going to run perfect. Tim said it at the beginning of the video. You can crank them down, pause it, and that bait's going to slowly start rising up. That blade's going to add a little secondary action in there as it just flutters back down to its resting position like that. And then when you start it up again, it's going to start hunting like that, and then just make a ton of noise.
Actually, I said like a very good, as like a, I know, live scope. It's a very good live scope bait for that reason. Actually, you get a good return with the blade.
Right.
And then the fact that it kind of
settles and
kind of, it doesn't really float
it
up.
Doesn't pop up. Yeah, it doesn't pop up like a Strike King or something like that, or like a Berkeley crankbait.
Yeah, I do a lot of stop and go with it. Just stop, reel it, stop. I've had no problems with it. It's been a really great lure.
Yeah, and you don't have to change the hooks, because these hooks are just
wicked sharp.
Wicked freaking sharp. And it has what I love in a crankbait hook. I hate round bends. For those of you who've kept up with the channel, I hate round bends. These come with like the O'Shaughnessy bend to them, which is close to what I like. It's better than a round bend, but I just love an EWG. If I'm throwing a crankbait, my deal is if they're not eating it all the way, I've got the wrong bait. So with the EWG, if they do eat it perfectly, I mean, they are never coming off, never ever coming off. And typically when I'm throwing a crankbait, the crankbait bite is just down their gullet. So yeah, guys, if you want to pick some of these up, you know where to go, lakeprotackle.com. There's a lot of different cover that you can fish with these, and these are also very just not snaggy baits. If you do get snagged, you're probably cranking like really terrible looking riprap, but these come through grass very well. They come through hard cover very well, like laydowns or around dock areas. And if you are fishing docks with these, it makes a lot of noise because that blade, it's squeaking, it's making that metallic noise. And don't be afraid to try it without the blade as well. They are going to run extremely true. Every single one of these, and as we kind of get going, these are kind of just like the first test run. As we get going, we're going to try to add more and more models. Of course, they've got not just crankbaits, they've got jerkbaits as well with the Eries, the 95s, which are really neat, as well as a couple other things.
I got some topwaters that are really cool, almost like a spy bait topwater with a blade.
Just kind of wakes at the surface.
It spins, and it has a belly weight that waddles it. And it's a really subtle, very finessey bait if you get like really slick calm water and little bait fish. And I've caught fish on it too. Eventually we might get some of those in.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little video here. We're excited to bring in the Nisshin crankbaits here, the Chippewas, in the babies and the regular size here. So with the blades, I am curious. I would like to see, I don't know if they have replacement blades that are different colors. I would love to see a little bit different colors because all the blades are gold. So I would love to see a little different colors in that. And I forgot to mention, these are hammered blades. So they're going to throw light even better. So everything on here, just extremely high quality. The hooks, the terminal, the split rings, everything on it, super badass. So guys, again, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new here or haven't already, and we'll see you next time. See you guys.